By the summer of 1940, Switzerland was in an awkward position. France had fallen, Germany controlled the north and west, Italy sat to the south, and Austria had already been absorbed into the Third Reich. Switzerland was now surrounded by Axis territory. So why, when nearly every road around it led through the Axis, did nobody invade? The first answer is not simply neutrality. Belgium, Denmark, Norway, and the Netherlands had all declared themselves neutral, and Germany invaded them anyway. Hitler was not famous for treating international promises as sacred documents. In fact, German officers prepared plans for an invasion of Switzerland, usually known as Operation Tannenbaum. The plans involved attacks from several directions, intended to destroy the Swiss army and occupy the country's strategically important center. So Switzerland was not protected by a polite sign saying, "Please do not invade." What it did have was armed neutrality. When the war began, Switzerland mobilized 450,000 troops under General Henri Guisan. This was a warning that any occupier would inherit one stubborn, expensive, and mountainous headache. The army could not realistically defeat Germany in open battle, and Swiss leaders knew this. Their plan was therefore to make victory as slow, expensive, and irritating as possible. After France collapsed, Guisan shifted the core of the defense into the Alps. This strategy, called the National Redoubt, concentrated soldiers, artillery, supplies, and fortifications around vital mountain routes. If an invasion came, forces near the border might delay the enemy while the main army withdrew into fortified Alpine positions. Bridges, tunnels, and railways could be destroyed, meaning Germany might capture Swiss cities but lose the transport links it actually wanted. And this mattered because mountains are quite inconvenient when people inside them are armed and have spent years preparing to ruin your day. However, defense alone does not explain everything. Germany probably could have conquered much of Switzerland if it had committed enough troops and aircraft. The important point was that doing so offered limited rewards compared with the cost. After defeating France, Hitler's priorities moved toward Britain, the Balkans, and then the Soviet Union. Switzerland was surrounded, economically pressured, and strategically contained. It was a problem, but not the most urgent problem at that point. Switzerland was also useful while independent. Its factories produced machinery, precision equipment, and weapons. Its railways linked parts of Axis-controlled Europe, while its banks and currency helped with international payments and gold transactions. Swiss businesses and authorities cooperated extensively with the German war economy, although Switzerland also traded with the Allies when it could. Occupying the country might have disrupted services Germany was already receiving without having to place soldiers on every mountain. This did not make Swiss wartime policy heroic. The government made serious compromises, restricted refugees, and turned many people away, including Jews escaping Nazi persecution. Neutrality helped preserve the state, but it also became an excuse for decisions that remain heavily criticized. The Allies had even less reason to invade. Switzerland was not an active military threat. An Allied occupation would have violated its neutrality, and attacking through the Alps offered no sensible route into Germany. Allied and Axis aircraft did enter Swiss airspace. Swiss forces fired on intruders, and several Swiss towns were bombed, sometimes by mistake. The country avoided occupation, not the war entirely. Federal Archives of Switzerland. In the end, Switzerland survived because invasion was possible but never attractive enough. Its army promised resistance, its mountains promised delays, its economy was useful, and Germany kept finding much larger wars to fight elsewhere. Neutrality mattered, but mainly because Switzerland was prepared to defend it. The Nazis did not leave Switzerland alone because they respected the rules. They left it alone because breaking those rules looked expensive, disruptive, and, for most of the war, unnecessary.